All right, everybody. So we are celebrating today. This is a milestone for the channel, actually. That's why I chose that as a theme, as a topic for the reading. These are the first 100 messages, which translate to 200 videos, because I do everything twice by using both languages. So anyway, congratulations to me and to Hepritera for the first 100 messages. And so, as I said, I wanted to make that the topic of the reading because I think it's important that we actually do that, celebrate our milestones. Every significant point in our journey that we reach should be celebrated. What way? Well, that's up to you. For me, in Latin America, normally a celebration means exactly that, a party. That's what we mean by celebration. However, it may just be something modest or simple that is just out of the ordinary. Something might be quote unquote small, but that shows that this specific step has special significance for you, for your process, what have you. So thank you very much for all of you who have subscribed or liked or commented. This is really an effort I'm doing because, well, I love tarot. And I find it a very therapeutic way for both myself and to put a little bit of a light or a positive message out there. So, I guess that would be it for now. That's more than good enough of the intro. So let's just jump right into the cards. Thank you very much for your patience. Welcome. This is me, and this is Hebrew Tarot. All right, so I do want to say something specific about the image. Whenever I sit down to do one of these drawings, the way it normally goes is I have an idea in my mind that I want to depict, but as soon as I do the first 3-4 lines or whatever, it normally starts going in a different direction. So sometimes it's similar, but most of the times it actually ends up something completely different from what I originally intended to do. But that's kind of my process. That's how I allow just things to flow and to shape themselves, to say it somehow. So in this case, when I was drawing the figure here, I saw it as I made the head as someone that is walking this way on this path. But when I started drawing these other lines here, I normally play some music. Well, I actually play some music on YouTube or Spotify or whatever in the background as I'm drawing, and I chose to use Sufi music, ambient Sufi music. So as I was doing that, it kind of started looking at me like a guy wearing a turban. Okay, there we go. Like a guy wearing a turban, that's his nose and his beard, kind of a long beard hanging. So it has a bit of a double reading because it's, in a way, somebody walking down the path and then turning his head to look at this big star over here. And at the same time, kind of looks like someone younger with kind of like a ponytail here, who's actually facing this way and facing at this other bigger star over here. What I'm taking from that is every time we reach a milestone in our path, we should do a little bit of a review of what we have learned, what effort we have put into reaching that specific milestone, what we have learned in order to proceed further. So right now I'm getting this energy of someone that gained a lot of experience, kind of like an old man, and looking a little bit of what this milestone represented, this goal that has been reached over here, and how, as he's facing the next goal ahead, of course he keeps all that experience, but is now stepping into a new phase of his cycle, of his path, of his journey, and becoming a little bit of an apprentice in that sense, as a new cycle in which he is new, he's yet to gain experience or yet to put that experience into practice. So I kind of had a little bit of an idea of something between the Hermit, with the older guy looking at this star, and the Page of Swords looking in this direction. All right, so anyway, and the little thing I want to do to celebrate this milestone is on the one hand, toast with my tea. Again, thank you all for your patience, your comments, your likes, subscribing to the channel, and the other thing is that I'm using for the first time and reading the Morgan Greer Tarot, which is actually one of my favorites. Since the very moment I got it, it just spoke to me immediately really well. We kind of have a good flow together. So, but I'm not even sure why I never used it before. But here we go. So let's see what we're gonna have for this reading about milestones. So we have the Two of Cups in the reverse, the World. It's funny because I was actually going to mention that I mentioned the Hermit and the Page of Swords, but I was also thinking about the World and the Fool because it's the end of a cycle and the beginning of another one. Anyway, the Queen of Swords, Five of Cups, Two of Wands, and the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so we have a very even kind of energy here. We have Cups, we have Pentacles, Wands, and a Major Arcana. So this is definitely about having completed a very significant phase of our journey. I don't want to jump into conclusions or rush into anything, but I feel very, very guided to say, first of all, congratulations, and second, you passed a test. What test? I don't know. That I will leave for you to figure out, but this is a cycle you completed with, what's the expression? Bright colors, flagging colors. And anyway, the greatest of honors. One thing I do think that is connected to is the way you understand connection with others. The way you understand... how can I say this? It could be romantic connections, but I believe it's more in general. The way you understand how to relate to other people and one-on-one connections. Very, very Libra energy. I know this is Cancer, but go with me. So it looks like we have I don't want to say incorrect, but we have a way of understanding reciprocity that was not exactly healthy for ourselves. In what way? Well, it's going to be different for each one of you. But maybe we were possessive, maybe we were distant, but we had to have a little bit of a look and attention, see how this these two characters are actually paying very close attention to what they're doing, these round shapes. And we have analyzed that. And one of the main things that have come out of this studying or analyzing or healing process is to be honest with ourselves first and foremost, so that then we can be as well honest with others and be clear about it. The Queen of Swords is famous for being direct, sometimes brutally honest. And actually, she came in the reading in Spanish as well. It's a very important card for the reading. So it's not about being brutally honest, but simply plain and directly honest. I think the brutality can be left aside, and just if the other person doesn't want to take it well, that's on them. But you can just be clear and open. See how she has this rose here on her heart chakra, and kind of like, I just noticed that, kind of like a piercing in her throat or something, a pearl. I'm guessing that this is exactly about that. There's a delicacy and an honesty, an alignment between. Also, see how that rose kind of has a ring in there. There's a golden pearl here and a silver pearl in here. So, kind of like silver throat. I don't know if you know the expression of a silver tongue. A silver tongue is someone that is kind of like easy on their words, like could be seductive, could be, the shadow side of that is to be manipulative. But the idea is kind of like a Venus and Gemini, is words that are very kind to the ears, gentle, that people enjoy listening to that voice. So what I'm getting here is this transformation or this cycle of re-understanding how we're going to go ahead about connections is very important, that it has gentleness, kindness, honesty, vulnerability, openness, and all of that through the same channel of honesty, of sincerity, of being true to who you are, so you can be true as you're connecting with others, either romantically, professionally, I don't know, any kind of way that it can be. One other thing that I actually want to point out is this version of the 201s. Normally we have a guy here that's looking into a globe and has two ones. One he's holding, the other one is just attached to the wall. In this case, there's a second person actually here. He's not alone. He's bringing one wand to the table, and there's another person bringing their wand. So this is definitely about cooperation. And since we have wand's energy here, this is about an active cooperation. This is some action that we're going to be taking, a project, but we're being called to maybe take a couple of step backs. Now that you're doing the whole milestone thing, I was saying, give yourself the chance to review what it was that you learned, what you were actually working on, that star that you were building here, just so that you don't forget anything. Give yourself a chance, because it looks like there is a connection coming in, a cooperation coming in, but there is something that you are going to be asked to let go. You're gonna see what that is about, but I'm guessing it has to do with a lot of expectations that you may have been fulfilling for others, or that you had for yourself, but were actually imposed through your I don't know, your family, your environment, your education, your upbringing, but they were not exactly goals that were chosen by you by being aligned with yourself. So there is something that you're going to have to be letting go. It doesn't have to be as dramatic as this Five of Cups is, because in the end, fives are conflict for movement, conflict for overcoming something. So it's going to be actually something good, and you've already done the work. So maybe this is what you actually already let go. Maybe it's not something that's yet to happen, but something that already happened, but you're still yet to acknowledge it. Yeah, that's why you're being asked to review, to take a second look at things, because you need to be aware of what exactly was that you had to correct in here. Wah! Trusting your intuition. Wow, that was still lit up. By not trust, because this actually was getting here upside down. Yeah, that's what we corrected. In order to correctly connect with others, we need to trust who we are, trust our gut, trust our intuition, trust our inner wisdom, our inner knowledge. Again, and by doing that, aligning with ourselves. This is not about being complacent and satisfying other people's needs. We need to be clear about who, what, and where we are and what we want, so that we actually open up from that place, not to fulfill other people's needs. There you go. That's an integration. Moving on. Once we understand how we were kind of sacrificing our own self by not paying attention to that inner voice that's telling us, this is what we need, this is what we want, this is the way we should go. By realigning with that inner wisdom of us, that's when we're going to be ready to take action and start moving on, but being in complete balance with ourselves. Three more cards. 1, 2, 3. That's funny. In the Spanish reading, in this position, we actually had the Queen of Cups, which was, again, about having clarity of being aligned with our emotional self. And that's kind of a key in here. And the Spanish reading, we had a lot of swords, a lot of mental energy. And here is a lot more guided towards the emotional thing, the emotional realm, a lot of cups. And okay, it looks to me, see how you can't really see any of the faces here. Even this one is covered up. So we need a little bit of clarity of what this issue was. Maybe there wasn't a specific conflict that we had with somebody or something in the emotional aspect. Maybe this was about a very specific connection. Maybe you were getting over a breakup, over a fight with a family member. I'm getting a close personal connection from here. So this disagreement, these are the two negative, well, most negative vibes you can get. This, well, no, all fives are pretty tough. Anyway, they're actually facing in the same direction, and no one is showing their face. There needs to be some clarity here, some honesty, maybe some acknowledgement of mistakes. Like maybe you need to apologize, maybe you need to be apologized to. But I'm thinking I'm getting a very heavy sense, a very strong sense of it has to come both ways. You know, it's not something. See, Queen of Swords aligned with the King of Cups. Complete mental, emotional honesty, sincerity, openness. We need to both accept and acknowledge what our mistakes were, so we don't repeat them on the one hand. And that normally opens up other people as well to be honest about acknowledging their own mistakes. See? Conciliation. The very powerful, very energetic, very, very abundant result in here. So just be honest. Honesty is going to be the key for this. So allow yourself, before you start this before you move along to the next milestone in your path towards this other goal, try to sit down and remember what brought you here, what was your motivation to reach this first milestone, and what was that lesson that was learned. Be honest about it, and if you do need to apologize, go ahead and do it. It's important that you don't bring any baggage. That's what these fives are about. Don't bring any baggage before you cross this threshold, before you start going through that door. That's funny. We had the Ten of Pentacles as a culmination here, and we had the Ace of Pentacles as a culmination in the Spanish reading. So this is definitely going to have repercussions in the earthly realm, and the mundane, the material. I don't know if it's going to be money, because it's not always necessarily money, but the material, the palpable. All right. So anyway, that's all I have for you right now. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for being here and for supporting the channel. I really, really, really appreciate it. I hope to see you soon.